Sutta Ashtakam by Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, text 4. Satatam janata bhava tavaharam paramartha parayana lokagatim navalehakaram jagatapaharam pranamami sachi sutta gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always removing the suffering of material existence for mankind. He is the goal of life for persons who are dedicated to their supreme interest. He inspires men to become like honeybees, eager for the honey of Krishna Prema. He removes the burning fever of the material world. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. So here we are seeing how Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is very beautifully describing the ultimate purpose for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought for all of us Bhava Aushadhi, the medicine that is going to take care of removing our material disease. Krishna Chaitanya, excuse me. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought down this medicine by just taking which we will be able to overcome the suffering of material existence. This is the greatest benediction that Mahaprabhu has brought for all of us. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is declaring that. That is the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends, so many avatars, so many incarnations, Krishna comes, and he does primarily two functions when he comes. One is to protect the sadhus, paritranaya sadhunam, and vinashaya cha dushkrita. That he comes to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the sadhus. So protection of the sadhus is the first principle. Then he also takes care of annihilating the miscreants and re-establishing the principles of dharma. Dharma samsthar panarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This is the purpose of Krishna's descent into many avatars. You see, any incarnation, let's look at, has been the bottom line for Krishna to appear in different incarnations. He comes just to re-establish the principles of dharma. That's why he comes. Even when he came personally, when Krishna descended in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna is not an incarnation. Krishna is the source of all incarnation. So when Krishna came in Dwapar Yuga, he came personally. Krishna came personally during Dwapar Yuga. He's directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead descending from Goloka. But at that time also, Krishna did not actually, tell Duryodhan that, look, Duryodhan, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, surrender to me. He did tell also. He showed his universal form to Duryodhan too. But Duryodhan, he was so sinful. He was so envious. There were so many envious people during that time who were not ready to accept the mercy that Krishna was freely distributing. They were just not ready. Duryodhan could not, reciprocate with the mercy coming down from Krishna himself. He could not accept it. Why? Because Krishna was alone at that time. Srimati Radharani, the compassion personified, mercy personification, love embodiment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was not accompanying Krishna at that time. Therefore, he was not able to connect in that sense with the living entities. Krishna was not able to do it. So Krishna was just displaying his pastimes. If you get attracted, well and good. If you don't, too bad. That was Krishna's mood. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when that same Krishna, what did he just do? He just added onto Krishna's own personality. He added the mood of Mahabhav Swarupini Srimati Radharani. As soon as he did this combination, the combination of Krishna along with the mood of Srimati Radharani, at that time everything became perfect. When he came this time as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an incarnation. Just like how Krishna appears directly, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Krishna himself coming directly as he is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, accepting the mood of Srimati Radharani. So this is Radha Krishna Ekatanu. Ekatanu means they're one body. That is the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That he has Radharani with him. Krishna has Radharani with him, within his body, as his mood. And therefore now he's able to reclaim all the fallen conditioned souls. Because Srimati Radharani, she is the most merciful mother. Mother never has any conditions for the child. Even the child may kick her, the child may do, nasty, things. The mother just doesn't love the child when the child is all gooey and, nice and showing puppy eyes to the mother. The mother just doesn't show her love to the child during that time. But when the child, answers nature call, soils the diaper, the mother very lovingly changes the diaper too. She doesn't say, ew, smelling, ew, ew. She never does that. The mother's love is not conditional, that, well, when you do poo-poo, I don't love you. Or when you are, being very nice child, that's when I love you. The mother's love is not conditional like that. Of course, in Kali Yuga, that has also become a little tainted. However, but, strictly speaking, mother's love is never conditional. So Srimati Radharani, her love is never conditional. She has no conditions whatsoever. She's just wanting to reclaim the fallen souls back to her. That is why when she's combined with Krishna, or Krishna appears in the mood of Srimati Radharani, they are able to provide this extra addition mercy from Srimati Radharani and able to attract the iron. Radharani is like that magnet of love, and she attracts the iron-like heart of all the conditioned souls. They automatically get, just clung to her. They just get tied up with her. That's why the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu works, because it is combined with the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani, how mercifully she has brought this Bhava Aushadhi. Enechi Aushadhi Maya Nashi Baro Lagi. Hori Nama Mahamantra Lao Tumi Magi. Mahaprabhu was saying this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, Enechi Aushadhi Maya Nashi Baro Lagi. Hari Nama Mahamantra Lao Tumi Magi. They are not talking about any qualification here. They're not saying that first you become this, then I'll give you the Aushadhi. No. The medicine is there, but there's no conditions that is applied. The only condition is that Lao Tumi Mangi, at least ask for it. Just ask for it. Lao Tumi Mangi, ask for it. Ask for this medicine. Beg for this mercy. And sometimes the devotees are so much more merciful that even though you are not begging for it, the devotees just go and put it in our bags. This is just take it, take it. That's how merciful this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. That's called causeless mercy. That's the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada never saw any qualification from anyone. Without any qualification, Srila Prabhupada would, go to such extents to just give Krishna to everyone. At that age, old man, all by himself, what Srila Prabhupada has done, no one can do. So how is this, Bhava Aushadhi that Mahaprabhu has brought for us? How, if we just accept this mercy, if we just beg for this mercy, and when this mercy comes, if we just accept it and, just drink it, drink this ambrosial nectar, then what happens? We will be able to relish the ecstasy following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our acharyas, our Guru Vargas. So the suffering of material existence, I remember a very beautiful example that was given, that, it's not that a devotee does not undergo suffering. A devotee also is, as long as we are in this material world, suffering will come. Suffering is part and parcel of this material world. It is one of the greatest symptoms. Dukhalayam, just like Vidyalaya, just like Himalaya. In Himalaya, if we go and expect there'll be no him, means snow, then that is not Himalaya. Himalaya means we have to find snow there. There's never a point that there is no snow in the Himalayas. That is why it's called Himalaya. Vidyalaya. Vidyalaya means, an alay means a place where you find vidya, knowledge. That is called a Vidyalaya, a school. Now what is Dukhalaya? This place is called Dukhalaya. Alaya means place and Dukha means miseries. So this is a place of misery, suffering will be there. There's no doubt about it. Then what is the difference? Why is this line stated here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is removing the suffering of material existence? What does this mean? Does this mean that the devotees will never undergo suffering? Did the Pandavas not undergo suffering? The Pandavas are the supreme examples of highest surrender to Krishna. But let's look at their life. How much suffering were the Pandavas always inflicted with? How much suffering? Poor Pandavas. If we just look at the suffering of the Pandavas, we can write pages and pages and pages about it. Just the sufferings. Bhima was poisoned when he was a child by Duryodhana and Dushasan. They were then, sent into a palace of lac, which was burnt down. They were wanting to be burnt alive, roasted alive. And then they had to escape and go into incognito. Then when they came back, their kingdom was not given to them. Dhritarashtra very cunningly gave them Khandav Prastha, which was really Khandav. It was really in ruins. There was nothing good about Khandav Prastha. But by the magical potency of Krishna and by the faith that the Pandavas had in Krishna, they transformed Khandav Prastha to Indraprastha. They did that. Then Duryodhana was envious of that also. What a wonderful palatial place that the Pandavas had built. It was really Indraprastha. Indraprastha because even the denizens of heaven were actually envying the way the Pandavas, constructed their city, Indraprastha. It put to shame even the abode of Lord Indra. That is why it was named Indraprastha. So seeing that, Duryodhana was really envious. And that's why he cunningly called the Pandavas, invited the Pandavas into a game of dice. And then we all know how Yudhishthir actually lost everything. And then a second match was held, where now he had already lost everything. Now he lost his brothers first, one by one. He then lost himself. And then after losing himself, he said, I don't have anything. Then Karna and Duryodhana and everyone said, well, you still have Draupadi. Yudhishthir put Draupadi at stake. He lost her too. How Mother Draupadi was insulted in the assembly of the Kauravas. How she was insulted. And how Draupadi was just saved because of her, undying faith and devotion to Krishna. She just helplessly called out, Hey Govinda, hey Krishna, please save me. And Krishna did not wait even for a moment to come and save the chastity of Draupadi. He came and upheld her chastity by providing tons and tons and tons of saris. And Dushasana could not disrobe her. But then they were finally exiled into the forest. 13 years of exile. And then they were, having to do 1 year of incognito. And if in that year of incognito, if they were recognized, then they would have to go for another 13 years. This was a trick by Duryodhana that he said that I don't want to see your face again. And he exiled them. So much misery, so much trouble the Pandavas had to go through. How could, we hide these 5 brilliant Pandavas? Bhima, he's like a mountain. In the incognito year, how can you hide a mountain? Everybody knew the 5 Pandavas. Arjuna, he was so charismatic. Just by looking at Arjuna, even the denizens, the apsaras of heavenly planets would get attracted to Arjuna, seeing the physical body of Arjuna. He was so beautiful, so handsome. Nakul, Sahadev, Yudhishthir, everyone, brilliant personalities. How are they going to hide themselves? And Draupadi, Mother Draupadi, she was the queen. She was so, and she had come from fire. She had manifested from fire. So her complexion was like that of blazing fire. That was her complexion. And she was so effulgent, so bright, that when she would be present in a room, you did not need to light any, lamps. Her bodily effulgence would give the light. That was how powerful she was. It was the power of her chastity. It was the power of her own, aura, that she was born from the fire. So how can we hide such 6 personalities? There were some arrangements made how they, hid themselves in the kingdom of Virat for that 1 year of incognito. How much difficulty the Pandavas went through. How much? And even when they were in the forest, Duryodhana did not stop at that. He sent Durvasa Muni, with his, 1,000 disciples to go and take prasad at Yudhishthir's place. How much trouble. He wanted the Pandavas. He had ill motive towards the Pandavas. He wanted to destroy the Pandavas. That was the intent of Duryodhana. But Krishna is the protector. It is said that Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe ke. That if Krishna wants to protect, nobody can kill that person. But if Krishna wants to kill us, nobody can save us. So Krishna wanted to protect the Pandavas. So in every kind of calamity, Krishna was right there by their side. He did not leave them. One day, therefore, Narad Muni, when he visited the Pandavas, he saw that they were, Mother Draupadi, she is, cutting, firewood for making food. Yudhishthir Maharaj is doing his activity. All these 5 Pandavas are, just doing so much of work in the forest. They're kings and queens. And Narad Muni was seeing that how are these boys and girls, these, Pandavas and Draupadi, how are they in so much ecstasy? And he was shocked to see a smiling face on the Pandavas and Draupadi. So he got so confused and he rushed to Dwarka to see Krishna. When he came to Krishna, Narad Muni said to Krishna that, my dear Krishna, what kind of hypnotism have you done? Vashikriyate. Vashikriya. Narad Muni used this word, Vashikriya. He said, what kind of hypnotism, my dear Krishna, have you done upon these Pandavas? That even in the greatest of misery, their attachment for you is increasing moment by moment. Their love for you is increasing moment by moment. They're not even once questioning that, Krishna, why did you put me in this condition? I'm your friend, I'm your relative, and you put me in this condition. They never questioned that to Krishna. So Narad Muni said, my dear Krishna, what kind of hypnotism have you done upon your devotees? So this is the hypnotism that all the devotees who are trying to surrender to Krishna, we aspire to be under such hypnotism by Krishna. That when we are faced with difficult situations, in very, very challenging situations of our lives, everyone has to go through different kinds of challenges in their life. But when challenges come, they are our testing times. Are we blaming Krishna? That Krishna, I have done so much for you, but what have you done for me? You put me in this condition? You know, right? I've done so much. How could you put me in this condition? If we say this, then we have failed miserably in our test. But rather, if we accept it gratefully, that Krishna, you are giving me this kind of suffering, I actually deserve worse than this. For whatever I have done, not just in this life, but in millions and millions of lives, I have turned my back against you, my dear Krishna. I actually deserve much, much, much worse. But you are so merciful that you're giving me just this much. Just give me the strength, O Krishna, so that I can remember you gratefully. That is the mood of an aspiring devotee. The how we beg for strength from Krishna to tolerate and to be blissful even during suffering times. So that is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. So a devotee, it's not that he is above all suffering. No. A devotee also undergoes suffering. But what is the reaction of the devotee? That is what we need to see. That when a devotee is faced with difficulty, and when a non-devotee is faced with difficulty, when a non-devotee is faced with difficulty, they start blaming everybody. They start blaming their own family, or because of you I got this, or because of this situation this happened, or because of that this happened. They'll never accept that they are ever at fault. That is material nature. That is the way non-devotees react. They never want to accept their own mistake, but rather want to blame it on everybody else. That is karmi way, or the way that the karmis, non-devotees, react to suffering, to miserable conditions. But how do devotees react? Devotees react that, Krishna, I deserve worse than this. You are so kind, so merciful, that you're giving me only a token punishment of what I actually deserve. This is your mercy, my dear Krishna, and just give me the strength that I can always remember you and never forget you. In a grateful heart. That is the mood of a devotee. So, that is the mood that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu awards us based on the sincerity with which we take the holy name. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, this Mahamantra, if we know that this is the Mahamantra that Mahaprabhu has brought for us directly from Goloka Vrindavan, Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana. So this is the Premadhan from Goloka Vrindavan directly, that we are chanting these celestial, transcendental sound vibrations. It's not mundane. And when we chant these transcendental sound vibrations, we are begging Krishna that Krishna, please, 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 please engage me in your devotional service. I do not deserve it, Krishna. But out of your causeless mercy, please engage me. And when we do that, when we are begging for the mercy of Krishna, then the mercy automatically drenches us. It drenches us, it pours over us. Mahaprabhu makes the pot of love of God, it just pours over us. That is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is always removing the suffering of material existence for mankind. This is how Mahaprabhu is removing the suffering of the material existence. He is the goal of life for persons who are dedicated to their supreme interest. The lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our ultimate goal of life. And Mahaprabhu, it is said here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying that one very, very wonderful thing that Mahaprabhu has personally come here to teach is that he inspires everyone to become like honeybees, eager for the honey of Krishna Prema. So we should be like honeybees and not like flies. The flies are attracted to open wounds, to pus, to dirty, filthy things is what the flies are attracted to. But what is the honeybee attracted to? It's attracted only to the honey. It's just going from flower to flower just to see where is the honey, where is the honey, where can I see all that. The honeybee also comes across all the filth, in a garden when you see below is all, like it's all muddy, it's horrible things are sometimes there. The honeybee never goes there. It just goes only to the flowers where the honey is. Similarly, a devotee, when we are cultivating our sadhana, we should develop the honeybee mentality, Srila Prabhupada says. What is the honeybee mentality? Honeybee mentality means trying to see only the good in others, not to find faults in others. When our consciousness, when we deal with everybody, if we just try to see, oh, look, that person is doing this nasty, horrible thing, ew. If we try to see like that, oh, that person, look at the way they eat prasad. Oh my God, looks like they're hungry for 10 days. Look at the way they're, not only eating, they're even packing prasadam and taking. Oh my God, don't they cook at home? Why do they have to pack so much prasadam? Maybe that devotee is packing prasadam not for themselves, but to go and distribute it to so many others who deserve that prasadam. So we are committing Vaishnava aparadh just by judging the acts of another Vaishnava. It's a very dangerous thing to do. So we should not have the fly-like mentality to see the faults in others, but our material senses, which has been polluted over time, when the waves of the ocean, when they hit on the stone, they actually corrode the stone over time. So similarly, we have, our pure souls have been in this material nature from time immemorial. And so therefore, the pure nature of our soul has been a little covered. It's become a little corroded. Where we are thinking, our mindset has become that I am best. There's no one as better than me. I am the best and everybody else, the rest of the world is horrible. Everybody is full of faults. But I have got no faults. I am the best. That is material nature, which eludes us to think like this. And therefore, our tendency to find faults with others is so prevalent. We can never ever see good in others. Never. It takes practice. It takes time. It takes effort for us to see good in others. It takes a conscious effort. And that is the practice of sadhana bhakti, that we are trying to make conscious efforts to try to see the good in others. It's very important for us to be able to do that, not to just simply, try to find faults with others. Let's try to get rid of that fly mentality and try to develop the honeybee mentality. Just see good in others. One practical purpose, one practical practice that we can do is that whenever our mind, because our mind is conditioned, we have no control yet over our crazy minds. So, one thing that I personally also do, which has really helped me over the years, is that whenever my mind tries to see some kind of fault in others, I consciously try to see two good things about that very person. I've learned this from my husband, actually, from my Prabhu. He has taught me with his own personal example how to develop this kind of an attitude. That we sometimes, very justifiedly, we actually find faults that, look, that person is really, really nasty, really, really horrible, that they're doing like this. But then my Prabhu always tells me, no, that person is chanting Hare Krishna, so there has to be something good about that person. So let's try to see the good. And I'm extremely grateful to Prabhu for, trying to bring about this kind of a change in our consciousness. And I'm so grateful for that. And trust me, when we practice to do that, our heart feels so light. When we criticize others, when we see the faults in others, we are never happy in that kind of a, fault finding mode. We are never happy, because that's not the nature of our soul. The nature of our soul is Anandamaya Bhyasat. That we should always be diving in the pools of ecstatic love of God. That is our original nature, and we'll be most happy in our original nature. And that can come when we try to start seeing good in others like honeybees. So that's something that here Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is pointing out, and he's offering his obeisances to such a personality, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the darling son of Mother Shachi, and he is also removing the burning fever of the material world. So this is the fourth verse. Now we'll